Medical Intuitive Insights with your host, Dr. Gloria Warren, is a program that presents topics on medical intuition, holistic opportunities outside of mainstream society, and scientific research as applied today. Topics range from online intuitive readings to interviews unveiling alternative healing modalities and discussing them with inspirational leaders. Dr. Warren is the bridge within holistic arts while stressing the balance between the spiritual and physical self. So now, please welcome the host of Medical Intuitive Insights, Dr. Gloria Warren.
Why are we more exhausted than ever despite having more conveniences today, especially compared to the last generation? And why do so many people feel wired but tired? And what if burnout isn't just about being busy, but about something much deeper happening inside of our body? Today's episode, the energy shift from burnout to sustainability. How do we get there? Welcome to Medical Intuitive Insights, where science, sustainability, and human energy come together. And what we're really talking about is how do we rebuild human energy in a world that's constantly draining us? Because burnout is not just fatigue, it's a system-wide energy failure, biological, neurological, environmental, and emotional. But here's the good news. Energy can be rebuilt. It can be rebuilt from the inside out. So what actually is burnout, really? Let's redefine burnout. Burnout is often described as emotional drain and exhaustion, mental fatigue, and just simply tired, and loss of motivation, sometimes even depressed. But it's clinically and biologically, burnout is energy dysregulation. Yeah, it's when happens when your cells cannot produce enough energy, and from a cellular level, and your nervous system gets involved. It's overstimulated. Your body is exposed to chronic stressors, and your recovery systems are overwhelmed. Now let's look at a cellular level. At a cellular level, your mitochondria, we've had a show on it. Watch it. The energy producers of the cell, they begin to, slow down. This can be influenced by the poor nutrition or perhaps toxic exposure. Maybe you've been exposed to something and it's affecting those mitochondria. The chronic inflammation, chronic time and long time frame there, that definitely can cause the problem. And lack of restorative sleep. How many of you go to sleep but yet never actually go deeply to sleep? Maybe you're up and down. It's one thing if you just had a baby or something, but not for the average person. It's really not healthy. So at the neurological level, the nervous system becomes stuck in the sympathetic dominance. Fight or flight, once again, you've heard me speak of it many times before, but it leads to cortisol dysregulation. There we go. Leads to sleep disturbances, anxiety, and brain fog. You ever sit there and you're just like, what? What did you say? I'm sorry. I'm not really here right now. But that's brain fog. Your brain just cannot think analytically or answer questions or understand and comprehend things you hear sometimes. So at an environmental level, you could be exposed daily to chemicals, processed foods, microplastics, chronic digital stimulation. These are energy disruptors. We have so many chemicals in our foods. We have glycol, doxycetyl, food colorings, preservatives. These are all chemicals. Your body should not be used to these, and they aren't used to them ever. So it considers them as toxic chemicals in the body. Processed foods. Cheese needs to be real cheese, and um, meat needs to be real meat, and things that are not processed. And you need to stick to simple foods, simple, clean, regular foods that your body was actually meant to eat. Microplastics, they're in everything, everything. And this can affect your energy level. Microplastics are not only in our foods, in our water, in our air supply. So, chronic digital stimulation, we have blue light coming off of computers, cell phones. You can turn it off. Turn it off. Go into your settings, turn it off. Go into your computer settings, turn off blue light. Just remember, once you shut down, you may have to go back in there again. I've noticed mine keeps popping up. So, these are all energy disruptors. At the emotional level, and yes, emotions can disrupt energy levels too. Disconnection, misalignment, chronic stress drain energy reserves. So, how many times are you in a group of people and you just feel disconnected with them? That's an emotional situation that can drain your energy. It makes it hard to consider what you're actually there for and how you should act. You may even consider, wait, do I need to do this? Do I need to do, oh, wait, these are people I work with. I need to be part of the group. That takes energy. The misalignment itself takes energy to overcome. Chronic stress drains energy reserves. That could be in any environment in your life. That could be in your work environment there again. It could be in the family environment. If you're under chronic stress at home or with your family, you need to review, why am I doing this? By the way, I have a free checklist about this. So I'll try to put it in the notes within 24 hours, just letting you know in the comments section. So this chronic stress drains energy reserves. So not only, let's say I have all this energy now, but maybe I'm under a lot of stress. Maybe I won't have it 5 minutes from now. I don't know. It's something I need to try and maintain, but you need to do certain things to maintain it. The key insight here is burnout is not a personal failure. It is a systems failure. The systems of everything within you and around you. So it's just something that we have to review and be honest about. So this energy shift from burnout to sustainability, we need to rebuild energy from the inside out. And now we talked about things like mitochondria, which we already have done a show on it. I think it's something that has a direct correlation to the way you feel and your energy level. Poor nutrition. We can be influenced by our internal biological aspects of our body, and the poor nutrition, you need your vitamins, you need nutrition all around you. In your food, you need clean food, clean water as well, because toxin exposure can influence your situation. You need clean air. I have air filtration systems in my house. Yep, and I have humidifiers for the winter months. What we breathe is very important. I thought this air in this community I'm in was so clean when I moved here. I checked it before I purchased the home. However, now I looked into it, and all of a sudden I'm getting these toxins from burning bad fuels in industrial toxins. And I'm like, what the heck? No wonder I haven't been feeling well this past year. It's been added to the air around me. By the way, you need to go into, I use WeatherBug. There's other programs you can use, weather programs, but I can get the air level of toxins in the air and pollens in the air and all of that. And it's right there at my fingertips. I don't pay anything for it. And it's well worth it. Well worth it. So poor nutrition, toxin exposure, and guess what? Chronic inflammation. We went in through this. Inflammation and swelling can cause your energy to decrease. After all, if your blood can't flow freely through areas of your body, how is it going to get the oxygen to the tissue to stay healthy, to keep your brain awake? If you can't get the oxygen to your brain, how is your brain going to stay awake? You're going to be sleepy. You're going to be tired. You're going to be groggy. I don't want to go there. I want to stay home. Just leave me alone. I want to lay down, rest, watch TV. So this is important for you to look at. Why do you have chronic inflammation? Because if you don't get rid of your inflammation, you may not be able to get rid of your exhaustion. And even it affects depression, can cause depression in people. And I know certain people that have lack of restorative sleep. I even get that from time to time from being overstressed. So keep it in mind, more things to think about, but you can always review this video at any time. So nervous system, especially the sympathetic dominance, the fight or flight, that's a problem. It may, if you have a fight or flight response, your adrenaline starts kicking up. Your cortisol starts increasing. You may feel energetic, but how long is that going to last? Usually if it goes up so fast, it drops even faster. So it can lead to cortisol dysregulation. Your cortisol levels, it'll throw them off. They're not going to just be what they normally would be. It's going to become like this. And when it goes down too far, or maybe it doesn't want to go away, there's so many problems with cortisol sometimes. So it can cause sleep disturbances, and it can cause anxiety and brain fog. I'm going to stop for a second and talk a little bit about brain fog. Brain fog itself can mean many different things. In the medical coding terminology, they have different terms. It could be cloudy. My brain is like, I can't think. I have cloudy thoughts. I have cloudy thinking, brain fog, just not functioning right. You can't come to the conclusions. My brain isn't working right. I mean, you hear a lot of different ways to put that. And everybody does experience that from time to time. Could be from your food you're eating. Could be from the toxins in your body. It could be from just not enough sleep. So an environmental level, and I'm really astute with this because of Sustainability Management Institute, I'm the CEO. So we're exposed to chemicals in our food, chemicals in the air, chemicals in our clothes. And when I always ask, what clothes are you wearing? What are they made of? Are they natural or are they synthetic? You have pores all over your skin. It's not like a dog that doesn't sweat. We sweat. We have pores all over our skin, and they work both ways. You can absorb through the pores as well as put off chemicals and toxins. So one of the things I wanted to mention here was, what is the best way to detox chemicals from your body and different things as much as possible? You could be in a detox program. It could take 1 to 3 or 4 weeks. Or you can go and have a really good sweat. Go to a hot tub, or the best are the steam rooms or hot air rooms where there's no steam but the hot air. You can detox almost overnight. It is phenomenal. The sweat just throws off so much at once. It doesn't mean microplastics. You may release some microplastics, but the largest residue of microplastics from bottled water and things like that, or even just using plastic dishes. The thing about that is you retain most of those. They say they're forever in your system. I have known microplastic levels to go down with microplastic detoxing. So I do sell kits through OHS. So that's a vitamin company, and we have kits for that to test it and also for detox. But you can avoid them. That's the best thing to do. Chronic digital stimulation. I find that if I'm at the computer, and I'm at the computer a lot, if I'm at the computer late at night, an hour before bed, let's say I'm still at the computer, I can't sleep. It's that red light. It's just what happens. So at emotional level, it's disconnection, misalignment, chronic stress, drains energy reserves. But the key thing here is burnout is not a personal failure. It is a system failure. So this episode is brought to you by Self Sustainability Bootcamp. We have a 10-part training bootcamp. We also have a free 2-hour program coming up, and I'll let you know about that later on in the show. So when we return, I'll provide a mini medical intuitive reading. If our patient comes on, we will find out. We'll break down hidden drivers of energy depletion, though. That's something you want to hear about, and what things that people never consider. Okay, we'll be right back.
Mike Zorek, a three-time California state champion in Greco-Roman wrestling at 114 pounds. Mike, blind since birth, was born in Hartford, Connecticut. He was a six-time national placer, including 2 seconds, 2/3, and 2/4. He also won the Veterans Folk-Style Wrestling twice at 152 pounds. In all these tournaments, he was the only blind competitor. Nancy Zorek, a creative spirit whose talents have taken her to the stage and into galleries and exhibitions in several states. Her father, a commercial artist who shared his instruments with his daughter and helped her fine-tune her natural abilities, influenced her decision to follow in his footsteps. Ms. Zorek has enjoyed a fruitful career doing what she loves. Listen Saturday mornings at 12 Eastern for the Nancy and Mike Show for heartwarming stories and interesting talk.
Are you struggling to care for elderly parents or a spouse? Do you wonder if being a caregiver is making you sick? Are you worried about taking time off work to care for elderly parents and balance work, life, and caregiving? Has caregiving become exhausting and emotionally draining? Are you an aging adult who wants to remain independent, but you're not sure how? I'm Pamela D. Wilson. Join me for the Caring Generation radio show for caregivers and aging adults, Wednesday evenings, 6 Pacific, 7 Mountain, 8 Central, and 9 Eastern, where I answer these questions and share tips for managing stress, family relationships, health, well-being, and more. Podcasts and transcripts of The Caring Generation are on my website, PamelaDWilson.com, plus my caregiving library, online caregiver support programs, and programs for corporations interested in supporting working caregivers. Help, hope, and support for caregivers is here on The Caring Generation and PamelaDWilson.com.
Welcome back. Now let's explore our segment 2, which particularly is the hidden energy drains. This is a really good session for you guys. So what actually drains us? What is really draining your energy? I mean, you really should do a checklist to try and figure out a little bit more and start watching what's around you. Watch everything that has chemicals in it, which is most of the things in our environment, in our food. So invisible chemical load, very important. Food additives. There are so many food additives. I have some shorts out there. Try to catch some of those shorts. Doxacetyl, one of the ones I really can't handle because it crosses the blood-brain barrier. And guess what? It doesn't go there alone. It doesn't go into your brain alone. It takes on other chemicals in your body and they piggyback it into your brain. So it can cause many different problems. This is not off of my brain. This is through medical research. Hardcore research has proven that it can lead to different problems in your brain. Okay? Consider that when you look at food additives. You know, if there's more than 3 or 4 ingredients in it, pass it up. Don't eat it. Don't even think about it. It's not worth it. Ice cream isn't ice cream today. Butter is not butter today. These are things you have to look at. You know, everything out there, they're making copycats. So food additives, that's a problem. It's not natural. You know, anything not natural, your body does not know how to use it. It doesn't. It's like, what is this? You know, it can go around your bloodstream and sit there for how long? We don't know. It depends on what it's doing. It can cause sickness, illness. And that leads me to the next invisible chemical load topic, and that's pesticides. Pesticides. Why are we still using chemical pesticides? There are so many things that kill insects on plants that last. A lot of people, oh yeah, but natural pesticides, they don't last long. You have to keep spraying them. No, not necessarily true. You know, you could put things, vinegar and things of that nature around. It's not what they're saying. And I know this because one of the people on our Sustainability Management Institute team is Dr. Cynthia DiNardo, who is an agriculturalist, and she is on the board for Colorado even. I mean, she manages huge industrial farms, and they're using natural pesticides now, thanks to her. I thank her so much. But it's not just in Colorado, it's expanding to other states very slowly, I may add, because there's still that idea that they don't last. Well, no pesticides last forever, but it is wonderful. You can use them in your house. I made a spray up with peppermint and rosemary, and if you put some oils in there, though, the oils do last, and they do hold the fragrance there that the animals don't want to mess with them, the insects. They don't want to go near them. So you can put soak some materials and put them on a stick around your plants even. That helps too. But you can make a spray that you can spray on yourself. You can spray it on your dogs. You can spray it on your animals as well. It's non-toxic. So household products. This is another chemical load scenario. Household products. Why are we still using bleach? You know, in nursing homes, they're using vinegar. Kills all the germs and bacteria. Yet we're spraying bleach. And then we have antibacterial sprays. I'm not going to go into names. I'm sure you know of them. We're spraying them on counters and doorknobs. Why? Vinegar. Simple vinegar, non-toxic vinegar, edible vinegar. You can put it on anything and it kills everything. I know most people don't realize about nursing homes, but if you go in one and you talk to them, the healthier nursing homes use vinegar everywhere. They use it on their floor. They use it and they use a little soap with that, but they can use it. They use it in their laundry, all their laundries. They don't use bleach anymore. They're using vinegar. Not only cheaper, it's non-toxic. And then endocrine disruptors. All your chemicals are endocrine disruptors. They interfere with hormones. All of these, they interfere with hormones and cellular signaling. So the cells can't signal. When are they going to die? Are they going to eat each other? Apoptosis. Are they going to be healthier, and grow and become regular cells? Or are they going to become cancer cells? These things, cellular signals, they can signal cancer cells to grow and overproduce. So your body has a difficult time handling them. Not good. Just those 4 things with chemical loads, they can lead to really bad times. So, and now we're going to talk a little bit more about the next topic here, and that's ultra processed nutrition. So food is no longer just food. I think I went a little bit into that already. It's often energy deficient food. Okay, so if you look at how they're making meat in a laboratory, are those cells, are they part of an animal that they're building its immunity when being outside and exposed to natural bacteria in the earth and in the air and in the food? Do they have a built-in immunity so that when you eat the meat, you're getting some of that immunity nutrients? Lab? No, they don't have that. They're low micronutrients. They also, things that they're making in labs, they're high inflammatory compounds. You heard me right. High inflammatory compounds. They can create blood sugar spikes and crashes because it's not complex the way it needs to be. So if it's too simplistic, just like taking plain sugar and putting it in your body, your blood sugar is going to spike up. And then what happens? It's going to crash down. The same speed it goes up, it comes back down. So you don't want any of that. So chronic stress activation here. You want to keep your energy up. You can't have chronic stress in your life. You need to take care of things that are stressful. Say no. That was always my problem, saying no, taking on too much. I had to learn to say no, so I did. Now I'm saying no sometimes. I try to do what I can to help people, but sometimes I'll just say, I don't have the time for that now, but what I can do is, and there's a little compromise there. Sometimes it can't be a compromise, so be it. How many of us are going through things like that? I'm sure most of us probably especially if we have kids and family pulling on us. So the body was not designed or designated to be a constant alert mode scenario. Alert mode is just a fight or flight thing. And otherwise, we should be living a calmer life. Otherwise, our elevated cortisol starts setting in, and adrenaline strain, and nervous system exhaustion. Your adrenal glands are on your kidneys. You keep having adrenal strain, your kidneys are going to start malfunctioning over time. You cannot have chronic stress in your lives. Nervous system exhaustion. A lot of the times your energy become exhausted. You become exhausted. Your energy drops, and that could be from the chronic stress. Maybe your boss is working you too hard. Have a talk with them to say, look, I'm starting to get sick. I don't want to get sick. I want to come here and work. Please consider that. Maybe I need to, am I allowed to, delegate some of the tasks you've given me? That would be a great idea, wouldn't it? So another area that's very common in this world today is digital overload. This has such an effect on the human body. It's pretty drastic, actually. Constant stimulation leads to dopamine dysregulation. And when you get dopamine dysregulation, that can cause depression, and it can cause other problems. It can cause lack of sleep because your brain just hasn't gotten rid of, downloaded that dopamine so you can rest correctly. So what is causing this dopamine dysregulation and digital overload? Well, like AI, when AI came out, everyone's like, oh, this is great. Certain people, not everybody, but they're going crazy with AI. But what's happening? They're stuck in front of that computer for longer lengths of time because they're just so excited. And the dopamine, it actually increases. They can't believe everything they can do at once and get it all over with. And it's not healthy for the human brain. It is not a natural state. And if it isn't a natural state, it's going to cause further mental fatigue, reduced focus overall, and it can cause illness. There's a problem with that. The sleep disruption, though, that's pretty drastic with some people. I've had problems with sleep because of how much I'm in front of a computer. Without deep sleep, though, we get more problems. The brain cannot detox. Do you know what that means? That means more chemicals left in the brain, more energy left in the brain. You can't downgrade your thought processes like you want. Me, I'm sitting there, a couple drops of valerian root, and I try to just relax an hour before bed. It helps, but it's still not the perfect thing. So I will try to find other things to do, or maybe turn off the computer a few hours before I go to sleep. That's kind of hard. I have so much work to do, but that's okay. I'll figure it out. So, and then hormones can't reset. The cortisol doesn't want to come down. Your dopamine doesn't want to come down. You're still in fight or flight. It's just what happens. And guess what? It's not just the computer. It's this. It's cell phones. Cell phones. Do the same thing. Turn off the blue light in your cell phone. Turn off the blue light in your computer. Go to settings, go to display. There's a light scenario. Ask it, where is it? It'll show you where it is. Turn off blue light. Blue light is a big culprit in these scenarios. Not good. So modern life is not energy neutral. It is energy depleting. It's not like we're living in the 1800s and we can, hey, let's go out, go down and to the creek and go fishing or something. If you are in that type of life, maybe that's a good thing, Balance, though. You need to balance. So don't forget, Life Connect retreats. Text now to reserve your seat. Call 715-892-6304. That is the first week in December. It's the cellular regeneration protocol. On March 21st, though, 10 a.m., we have an overview of that, and we are going to discuss and give some of those real perfect little nuggets that you won't hear anywhere. So there is a small fee for that. It's not much. Call me, text 715-892-6304. 7500, and I will give you that information. I'll give you a link too. So up next, the solution. How do we shift from burnout to sustainable energy? This is what we've all been waiting for. Let's shift it now to sustainable energy. We'll be right back after the commercial break.
Master of words, powerful player. What life-changing words can Dr. Janet Smith Warfield pull out of her magical toolbox that just might mysteriously open a door you never knew was there? A door to free yourself from fear forever. Transform your rage into right action. Release your guilt. Position you into a life of freedom, purpose, passion, power, and peace. All quite suddenly, unexpectedly, and almost miraculously, with no effort on your part. Join Dr. Janet on Dancing with Words, Dancing with Wisdom, as she and her guests show you how words map our experiences, immersing you in a sound bath that relaxes your muscles, opens your mind, and supports you in co-creating your extraordinary life. Author, radio show host, and coach John M. Hawkins reveals strategies to help gain perspective, build confidence, find clarity, achieve goals. John M. Hawkins' new book, Coached to Greatness: Unlock Your Full Potential with Limitless Growth, published by iUniverse. Hawkins reveals strategies to help readers accomplish more. He believes the book can coach them to greatness. Hawkins says that the best athletes get to the top of their sport with the help of coaches, mentors, and others. He shares guidance that helps readers reflect on what motivates them, rediscover and assess their core values, philosophies, and competencies, find settings that allow them to be the most productive, and track their progress towards accomplishing goals.
Welcome back. Our topic today, the energy shift from burnout to sustainability. This is a really exciting section in this program. So rebuilding energy from the inside out, the energy shift framework, very important. This is where transformation begins. I call this the energy shift model. So let's talk first about cellular energy, fueling the body. This is one of the things that can help. Clean, nutrient-dense foods, hydration, reducing toxin exposure. We talked about in the last session. Now, for an example, when we fuel the whole body, with whole nutrient-dense foods, it helps to stay properly hydrated and reduce toxin exposure. We directly support mitochondrial function. You know, mitochondria, they're inside the cells. They're like these little tiny large creatures that roam around, and they help us to support things in our whole entire system. The very system responsible for producing energy at a cellular level. So without those, we wouldn't have what we need. So now we have the nervous system energy, the calm, the system, breath work, mindfulness, reducing overstimulation. These things actually will help you to increase your overall energy. Breath work. And we talked about this last time. We did a chakra clearing breath work scenario. Breath work, breathing in as deep as you can. Put your arms all the way up. In, lift up your rib cage, and then slowly count as you're breathing out. Count to 6, count to 10. Releasing, and create more of a calm inside of you. It's part of mindfulness and meditation, and it can help us to reduce the overstimulation that we're subjected to in our daily busy lives. So another example is mindfulness things like actually meditating. Why not? Meditation is receiving and listening. And you can empty your mind, just listen, okay, as opposed to prayer where you're actually speaking and communication, where you combine them to communicate. Some people are capable, everyone's capable, it's just in learning how. So your mindfulness and limiting constant stimulation to help shift our body out of fight or flight and into a rest and repair state. So these things, when you're laying there in bed, let's say you're up late on the computer or on your cell phone, scrolling through, you can do a breathing technique. You lay on your back and you feel your feet, in your mind. Feel your feet. Feel breathing deep, breathe out all the way. Deep, breathe in deeply, slowly, counting to say 6 or 8. And think about this air going into your lungs and down to your feet. And then swirling back out, slowly counting to, and while you exhale slowly out. This will help you relax so you can get better sleep. It'll help to shift the body out of fight or flight into a rest and repair state where true energy restoration can occur. If you don't have that energy restoration, the time you sleep in deep sleep, you're never going to get out of that chronic state of lack of energy or fatigue, because you need that energy to go into the next day and get rid of the fatigue. So environmental energy, we mentioned your environment and clean surroundings. So that's basically your air quality, water quality, reducing chemical load. This is an interesting area. Air quality, we talked about that, the chemicals in the air. I don't know why there's industrial air fuel burning pollution coming from industrial scenarios. They're not even talking the cars are run on clean gas, not on pollution, whatever gas, and they test them here in my state. But it's just interesting how air quality can have so many things that traveled in the air long distances to my area of which I live. So, little troubling to me. Water quality. My water here was amazing when I moved in. It was like 6 years ago, maybe 7, and it was perfect. I checked the water reports, everything else. And now all of a sudden, in the last 2 years, we're getting all these chemicals in there, even some bacteria. And I'm like, all right, what happened? There's no new industries or anything around here. Is there more dumping around here? I don't know. Something's going into the deep well. It's like 500 feet down there. It shouldn't have any problem. So we need to reduce chemical load. Quality of the air we breathe, the water we drink, and the chemicals we are exposed to daily either to support or drain our energy. You cannot have a lot of energy if your body is working so hard to get rid of these chemicals in your bloodstream and in your cells and in your tissue. Making our environment a critical factor is an overall vitality measure, and you have to do it. Don't keep ignoring what's around you. You can't. You're going to get sicker and sicker. You're going to get more exhausted even. So the emotional, well, we're going to move on. The emotional and purpose energy, aligning yourself. Meaningful work, healthy relationships, and personal alignment are very important. Meaningful work. Don't do work that you don't see the meaning of, or you're not backing the meaning of, or if the work is not aligned with your own personal dogma, your own list of personal rules for your life, find different work. Go somewhere else. Don't do something that is unethical to yourself, to the way you were brought up, to your beliefs of life. Find meaningful work. I found meaningful work with you. I enjoy helping guide people towards a healthier life, healthier relationships, and a healthier being. So let's talk healthy relationships, shall we? So healthy relationships are so important for our system. If you're in a bad relationship, like let's say you've been battered or beaten, your relationship is going to drain you. You will not be able to think of much of anything else. It's you're on that hamster wheel going around and around. And yes, I do mention that often. That hamster wheel is going to tie up all the energy in your brain. And usually you can just change your mind to get off that hamster wheel and move on. But in a relationship, you're kind of like intertwined and tied up. That's a problem. If you're not in a healthy relationship, you need to review what you are looking for in a relationship. Figure that out. What you're not getting in the relationship you're in. And if it's unhealthy for your physical well-being and your mental well-being, mental abuse can be just as harmful, sometimes even more harmful than physical abuse. Both of them are terrible. Consider finding a new relationship. Consider different things for you. I'm not saying make some quick choices there. I'm saying seek out help. Talk to a social worker. Talk to a psychologist. Get some help. Even a friend, anybody. Just so you can figure out what you need and what you need to do or not need to do. Okay? And that's called personal alignment with yourself. Personal alignment, you, with the universe. That's the deep breathing exercises. That's why I do Qigong. That's why I do Hatha Yoga, and a lot of breathing. And it's just, all of these things help me to align myself with my purpose in life. If you don't know your purpose, give me a call. 715-892-7500. I'll help you find that. I'm really good at that. I'm also a minister, by the way. By the way, you can also seek a minister's guidance if you're not in a healthy relationship. Okay. There's an 800 number out there too. You need to move forward in your life, and you need to align yourself in your work, relationships, personal alignment. When our lives are aligned with purpose, supported by healthy relationships and grounded in meaning, our energy naturally increases because we're no longer working against ourselves. We're working for our purpose in life. You got to have that, right? Why not? So, true energy isn't created in just one area. It's built across the body, the mind, and the environment. Cellular energy, clean nutrition, dense foods, hydration, reducing your toxin exposure, support mitochondrial function. Nervous system energy, calm the system, breath work, mindfulness, reducing overstimulation, move from fight or flight to rest and repair. Environmental energy, clean surroundings, air quality, water quality, reducing chemical load. Your environment either fuels or drains you. And emotional and purposeful energy. Align yourself. Align yourself with meaningful work, healthy relationships, personal alignment. Remember, energy increases when life is aligned. Now, don't we all want that? We want our energy to increase. I never have enough energy. I should, but who knows? I guess I don't. Maybe that's something else. There's always something I can improve on. So, keep that in mind. We need to improve on our own self-energy. What good are you if you don't have enough energy to do what you're here for? Why you were placed on this earth? So, look for those healthy relationships. If somebody walks in your house, don't invite people to your home if they are upsetting to you emotionally, or they make you come out of your own self to be something you don't like. Sometimes people, I've heard this before, and I completely understand. If I don't like me being around you, I don't want to be around you. I will avoid you. Now, if you're a family member, I will try to put up with you, and I remove myself from the environment when I have a problem with them. But, consider that sustainability begins within the human system. It's not just one thing. So please remember to subscribe to my podcast channel. I have my newsletter at medicalintuitivegloria.org. Sign up for it. Our spring one's going to be out by the end of this week. If you've already signed up, it will be coming. upcoming workshops, free 2-hour overview boot camp session on next Wednesday, the 25th at 8 p.m. Central. Text me, I'll send you the link, 715-892-7500. It's free. It gives you information that you're not going to get except in our boot camp. When we come back, we'll talk about how to begin your personal energy reset starting today. We'll be right back.
Are you struggling to care for elderly parents or a spouse? Do you wonder if being a caregiver is making you sick? Are you worried about taking time off work to care for elderly parents and balance work, life, and caregiving? Has caregiving become exhausting and emotionally draining? Are you an aging adult who wants to remain independent, but you're not sure how? I'm Pamela D. Wilson. Join me for the Caring Generation radio show for caregivers and aging adults, Wednesday evenings, 6 Pacific, 7 Mountain, 8 Central, and 9 Eastern, where I answer these questions and share tips for managing stress, family relationships, health, well-being, and more. Podcasts and transcripts of The Caring Generation are on my website, PamelaDWilson.com, plus my caregiving library, online caregiver support programs, and programs for corporations interested in supporting working caregivers. Help, hope, and support for caregivers is here on The Caring Generation and PamelaDWilson.com.
Master of words, powerful player. What life-changing words can Dr. Janet Smith Warfield pull out of her magical toolbox that just might mysteriously open a door you never knew was there? A door to free yourself from fear forever. Transform your rage into right action. Release your guilt. Position you into a life of freedom, purpose, passion, power, and peace. All quite suddenly, unexpectedly, and almost miraculously, with no effort on your part. Join Dr. Janet on Dancing with Words, Dancing with Wisdom, as she and her guests show you how words map our experiences, immersing you in a sound bath that relaxes your muscles, opens your mind, and supports you in co-creating your extraordinary life.
Welcome back to Medical Intuitive Insights. I'm your host, Dr. Gloria Warren, and we are going to take this home now. Practical energy resets, things that you can do, actionable items. This is my favorite part. So, reduce energy drains. That's step one. Reduce your energy drains. By the way, this is part of the boot camp. We just go more in depth than what I'm doing here. So we actually go through a process that you do analyze, a lot of analysis on yourself during the boot camp, and we actually help you try to implement those action items. So step one, reduce energy drains, eliminate one toxic product. One toxic product from your home, from your workplace, from your food. We always start with food for our human bodies, for the biology of it, or environment for the emotional and neurological point. But eliminate one toxic product. Which one can you eliminate right today? Well, mine probably first thing would be microwave popcorn, because the doxycetyl, the fake butter flavor that they put in it. I know how detrimental that can become. I'll make my own popcorn, and I'll use organic kernels. So another example is replacing just one household product, switching from chemical cleaner to a natural alternative like vinegar. Like I said, so easy to switch. I make my own window cleaner with it. I make my own floor cleaner with it. I mean, it's so easy to immediately reduce your daily toxic load. Another area, you could reduce processed foods. Begin by removing one highly processed item from your daily routine, like sugary snacks. That was hard for me, but I did it. And packaged meals, replace it with a whole food option, such as fresh fruits or fresh vegetables, that you can grab. Cold chicken, that's one of the things I grab, as I boil my chicken, and I can control how much toxins are put in it or not. And then I just grab, a piece of a chicken breast, snack on it. I also snack on these buffalo bars and that are just 3 ingredients. I mean, look at the ingredient levels. If there are more than 3 or 4, don't eat it. So another example, well, that's replacing with whole foods, and that's what you want. Just 2, 3, 4 ingredients, no more. Another example for the decreasing toxins, limiting screen exposure, especially at night. Now, that blue light is detrimental to your health, your mind, your myelin sheaths, your memory. That's where it targets your memory. So try turning off screens at least 30 to 60 minutes. I'm going to do like 2 hours tonight. And then if that doesn't work, I'll do 3 hours before bed to support your melatonin production and allow your brain to transition into a restorative sleep state and restore energy inputs, of course. So step 2, restore energy inputs. Hydrate properly. Clean water, clean fluids, no chemicals. I mean, why would you use chemicals to hydrate? You're filling up your tissues, bloodstream and tissues with more chemicals. So clean fruit juices, clean whole foods, and prioritize sleep. We need to reset the nervous system. 5 minutes of deep breathing daily, minimum. Think of it, if it's a prayer time, do deep breathing with it. I'm sure it would be more healthy and greater the connection. Time in nature. Take a walk outside, even if it's just to your backyard and back and forth. You need time in nature. Walk up to a tree. Become a tree hugger. Believe me, the tree will love it. Quiet moments without stimulation. You just need to deep breathe. I don't care where you do it. You can do it in a closet. I don't care where you do it. Take a quiet moment away from a busy household. Step outside, walk the dog. I mean, that's why I got chickens, for crying out loud. But it works. It puts me in with nature, gets me out of the house. I step out there and I see the wonderful, wonderful connection I have with them. And then step 4 is reconnect with purpose. What energizes me? What energizes you? What drains you too? And what needs to change? Mark these down. What energizes you? What drains you? What needs to be changed? Small shifts create powerful energy restoration. Burnout is not the end of the story. It's a signal. You need to realign your life. It needs to happen, or you will get chronically ill. It can lead to diseases. There's much research on this. I will include some of the research references at in the comments section, though, so you have it. It's a signal that your body, your environment, your life systems are asking for change. And that change is what we call the energy shift, from depletion to restoration, and from survival to sustainability. So thank you for joining me here on Medical Intuitive Insights. I'm your host, Dr. Gloria Warren. And remember, the true sustainability doesn't begin in the environment. It begins with you. There, for the grace of God, go I. May you experience the energy shift from burnout to sustainability. Until next time.
This has been Medical Intuitive Insights with host Dr. Gloria Warren. Tune in each week as Gloria shares over 40 years of experience and yearns to provide knowledge derived from intuition and research. Wednesdays, 2 p.m. Eastern.